Welcome back to the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. This is episode number 36. We are back. Before we get started, man, let's go ahead and get our libations together. Let's go ahead and get together, get right. Yes, sir. We back with another one, man. This is your boy, Ty. I'm here with my brothers, Bruce.
What's goody?
Mike.
Yes, sir.
And we back for another week, man. We are here. So we're going to start off with the question of the day that we had last week. Would you sign up for a Viva Las Vegas office package to work remotely in Vegas during COVID-19? So polls said, I don't know how this happened, but polls said that 29% said sign me up and 71% said I will pass. Somebody lying. Somebody lying. And I threw that out there before I asked the brothers how we was doing, because we kind of left off on this topic and it was sort of heated. People were like pretty stern in what their decision was and why they were going to do it. But there were also a lot of people that we saw already doing it.
Hey, look,
So
let's
I'm
be
just
clear,
saying,
man.
I'm just saying.
Y'all be voting and y'all know that we see y'all on IG, right? Y'all do know that, right?
I don't know.
They don't care, man.
I mean, why would they need to? It's a pandemic and they're going wild. Let's be wild and free.
Okay, where's Khalif?
You caught that one. Yeah. Taylor gang.
Hey, Mike, mark that one down as his first 3.
I got it. We on the board.
Well, we got that out the way, man. How y'all brothers doing this week, man? How we doing?
Oh, man, I'm blessed.
Yeah. Number 2, put it in, baby.
Living that blessed life, boy. I need to get Neo on the
hook.
Neo on the hook. Thank you. Dang, can't even get it out. That was my turnover.
We got you. I picked it up. No worries.
How you doing over there, brother Mike?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I can't complain. I'm blessed and highly favored, man. Can't complain at all, brother.
Man, so we just a blessed podcast because I'm feeling real blessed over here too.
I was about to ask you how you was feeling, but I already knew.
Yeah, y'all know. Hey, be on the lookout for that T-shirt. But anyway, we had another week of consistent events with the prior week. A lot of heavy things happen, but we're gonna start it off with the NBA. So I guess it was the Milwaukee Bucks and the Orlando Magic playoff game. The Bucks decided to walk off and not play the game due to the killing of Jacob Blake, which is another name that we now have to add to a list that I don't even want it to be a list. I guess in a way he's not exactly the same as some because we didn't completely lose him, but he lost a lot. I'll say that. If you haven't heard about the Jacob Blake situation, I urge you to go check that out. I'll give you a little brief background on it. He was shot in the back 7 times. I'm not going to go into detail of how it happened, but he was shot in the back 7 times by police. He was also handcuffed to his bed while in the hospital. You guys hear about this one? Y'all brothers hear about this one?
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
We just in sad times, bro. Very sad times, man. And sad, frustrating, angry, you name it. That's what we in right now, man. It's very disappointing that we still continuously, with all this stuff going on, with all these people making it known about police overstepping these bounds, man, that this stuff still continues to go on. And we get a new example almost every month now at this point.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, man, you know, it's hard for me to try to contextualize what I really want to say in a lot of these situations because there's moments where you're angry, but there's also moments where you realize things aren't going to change unless we all come together in this situation, and you know we can't come together on simple things. So I guess it's more so really, I just wish people would channel that anger, channel that frustration, and start looking at, all right, how can we truly prevent this from happening again? Because it's not going to change the more we march, the more we make T-shirts, the more we make songs, the more they put them in rap lyrics. It's not going to change. You can write somebody's name on a sneaker. It's not bringing them back. So let's find a way to really make the change. At least start the head work to do so. And it ain't about putting somebody's name on a jersey. It's more to it than that. But you know, it seems like Bruce was saying, every week, every month, it's another constant reminder of how we're not valued.
Yeah, I mean, my part of my distaste with this situation is there's a media company which they all do in these times decided to do a little article or I guess a little blurb on I guess there was a case back in July that Jacob Blake was charged with some type of sexual assault situation. Um, my distaste with that is, we why is it that we have to deal with whatever the situation was? On top of that, you have to dig dirt to try and make it seem like it was okay. And I have a huge problem with that, man, because you know, as we all know and as we all have seen, we're not treated equally. You know, if you go back to the Me Too movement with, sexual assault cases, I didn't see one of them. There's a plethora of them. Who you want? You want Harvey Weinstein? You want Matt Lauer? It doesn't really matter the name, but I didn't see any of them shot. I didn't see any of them hemmed up. I saw all of them kind of walk on their own into the courtroom or wherever
Escorted
they
right
had to
in.
be. It was like a red carpet almost.
Yep.
Even in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it don't matter how to, no name, it doesn't matter. Like the entry point of or the interaction with law enforcement was completely different. Completely different. And I mean, the case is the case, sexual assault, whatever it is, but come on, man. Like we're already dealing with the trauma. Like what is the point to paint the picture? I mean, I know what the point is to get people that are not in tune to believe and sway them a certain way. But let's be smarter than that as a whole. Let's be smarter
Well,
than that.
these news syndicates or places that they put this energy into trying to make that person guilty that has obviously been done wrong by these police. Like they not there for us. They there to bait into an audience. And honestly, this with everything, there's three sides. There's the left, the right, and the center. Your account of what happened, the other person's account of what happened, and then what actually happened. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I honestly, man, even if that was the case, if he's been charged and served time for that, does that right now cause the reason to be shot in the back twice? I mean, not twice. I'm sorry, shot in the back seven
7
times.
times. Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Like, does me walking away from a police officer warrant them the opportunity to shoot me in the back seven times? To be shot, period. But let alone seven times with kids in the back of the car. Like, come on,
Exactly.
man. That's just it's crazy to me, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's It's scary, but at the same time, man, y'all got to defend yourselves. We see what's going on. We know what's going on. Defend. You got to be ready to defend because at this point, any reason is open target, open season. So
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say, man. Honestly, I really don't, because it's kind of just to the point where it's like, and all these news publications and outlets, the only thing they care about is viewership. They could care less about what happens to us
Yeah.
personally. All they're
Yeah.
trying to do is just get enough notoriety as a personality on news to have their own show at some point on another major network or a sister network or the parent network. That's all they care about. There
Yep.
might be one or two people that actually truly care, but the rest of them don't care, especially on that one you're referencing. They could care less. All they up there is talking heads. They don't give a fuck. And quite frankly, why should we? Why should we? All they want to do is perpetuate a stereotype that's been floating around for years that people have falsely believed and even accused of us of. So, nah, we ain't got time for that.
And let's be clear, these news outlets, they there to, like Mike said, they there to get viewership. They're not there to tell the 100% truth.
True.
Even
That's
the ones,
true.
even the ones that you like and love and watch all the time, the headlines are misleading.
Mm-hmm.
It's there to grab your attention. They don't give a fuck about the truth a lot of times. They're there to bring people on, their friends, people that they care about, or just bring on somebody as an adversary just to have it float around and go viral. Because why their viewership is dying. Nobody watches them like that anymore. They're trying to do whatever they can to grab the attention of the people. And it's unfortunate that we have a large number of people that buy into this bullshit. Every night.
They never see the redacted story when they come back and they say, "Oh, we have to correct this."
Yep.
Nah. They
Yep.
they never talk about that part.
Because if you look on Twitter and all these articles about these incidents that happen, it's the first cut that comes out where it's like, "Yo, did this get edited? Does anybody approve this?" And then it's the other one that comes out. Oh, we want to put this out to correct the statements that were in the previous night. So you basically you publishing rough drafts, and then you get the arguments back, and then you correct it to get us the final draft at midnight when nobody can see it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
The authenticity of news outlets has gone out the window.
Yep. So outside the news, man, because for real, man, do your research with anything. Come up with your own conclusions. Don't let these news outlets come up with the conclusions for you.
Mm.
I'm gonna ask you this: what did y'all feel about the NBA walk-off? What is your thoughts on what the Bucks and the Magic started? Well, I'm not even gonna give the Magic any.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I'm not gonna give them none of this because they was out there still practicing, getting ready to go. But for the Bucks and then for CP3, because he was the following game, him and Westbrook, they finally say, "Look, we're gonna call this," and other teams follow suit. What are your thoughts about the NBA, one, walking off, and two, the conclusion that they came to go back to playing basketball?
Well, I mean, when I first heard about the walk-off and what I thought the reasoning was, I was like, okay, I get this. I can really rock with this. All right, I'm cool. But now I'm trying to see, just like everybody else, I'm trying to see like where we gonna go next. And I know that's the question that I've heard. I don't know how many times over this weekend. All right, y'all did that. Now what's next? But it kind of, what I heard that it kind of started off with only the Milwaukee Bucks. They didn't. The Bucks didn't even talk to Orlando Magic. And please correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Let me give you some more extra to that.
Please.
The Raptors also, before the Bucks, was in the talks of not playing anymore. Like the Bucks, I want to say last week, the Raptors, it kind of got snuck out there that the Raptors was considering not playing basketball anymore, like for the second round at least, because of what happened. And then the Bucks kind of follow suit. I don't know if they could have been in tangent together, but it was definitely reports out there that the Raptors was in discussion of not playing as well.
Okay.
Because they definitely deserve, because we talked about this before when Draymond said what he said about the Raptors. The Raptors been on point as far as this social justice and what this means to them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not forget them, because what happens is that we like to say, oh, well, they're not in the United States, and that's not fair.
No, it's not, because they still a part of the NBA. That's what we're talking about.
Facts.
To add on to that, I like the direction of where they were going. I just wish that there was a little bit more buy-in and kind of like, because let's just face this, like you can't create and change things with one or two, three or four different people. You guys all kind of have to be on the same page, and you got to realize that, hey, I'm not the only one that represents the NBA. If you want to get to what you want to get to, so I felt like there should have been a little bit more of communication and togetherness on what it was going to be. Now, obviously, if they're not standing, as a whole, if everybody's not standing with you, and you still feel strongly in what you want to do, that's different. At that point, you still have to stand on that stone. But the way that they went back to it and how they just kind of just went back to everything, I kind of disagree with, because it kind of now waters down what you started. Now, it doesn't have the same effect anymore, because what was it, 2 or 3 days before they went back to the playoffs?
Yeah, it was roughly 2 days. They took off Thursday. Actually, they took off Friday night and Saturday, and then they took off Thursday and Friday, and then they came back yesterday.
Yeah, so that's doesn't really make much of a statement, in my opinion.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna give the Bucks their just due for doing what they did, but I'm also going to give them a little bit of the blame, because of the fact that from what I've saw reports in different articles and things that I've watched, is that LeBron and CP, two of the guys that were some of the head honchos in the NBA Players Association, were actually working on a plan. They had actually spoke to Milwaukee in regards to some of that stuff that was going on, and what happened was, apparently they may or may not have heard from them in enough time, and apparently there was some internal strife within the Bucks locker room, where half the team was split on, one side wanted to play and the other side didn't. So they just kind of made a decision just hastily. And whether that be the right or wrong decision, that remains to be seen. Because right now we still have the playoffs to go. So I'm going to be kind of curious now, because that energy is still sitting in that bubble, and it's not going anywhere, because quite frankly, Jacob Blake is still in the hospital. So I'm going to see now exactly how this plays out, because to me, they should have acted in unison with the rest of the Players Association and the rest of the teams. I agree with Ty. It should have been a concerted effort for all those teams to say, you know what, we're not playing tonight. And then next team to go the next week. And then for you guys to have such internal discord in a called meeting, to where people are walking out and saying, we're not playing. So it's just, to me, and like Bruce was saying, the Raptors and the Celtics had already discussed this early in the day. Now, I think some of that probably got to Milwaukee, and they were like, you know what, let's go ahead and just do it. So, I, personally, I don't think they should have been there in the bubble to begin with, but we've already talked about that in this podcast. But they're there, they're playing, and quite frankly, they're in a rock and a hard place, because there are ramifications now with them not playing that has financial impact, that sends ripple effects not only to them, but to other players in the league that aren't playing, that don't have the same level of stardom that a LeBron or Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook or James Harden has. So when you get into a collective bargaining agreement, you have to abide by those rules. And when you start to break those rules, that's when the people who have the actual power, or 50% of the power, can say, you know what? This is what we need now. So you guys can lean on those owners all you want. That's great. But just know, if you're going to do it to the point where you need to make sure that they're aware of what you guys are doing, and that you do it in a manner where even if they try to come at you from a public perception standpoint, they're going to look like the bad guys regardless. So I just want those guys to be smart whenever they decide to make these decisions.
All right, so check. NBA, predominantly black, ran by predominantly white males. And no owner stepped out and said anything. None. Zero. What are you fighting? Like, what are you doing? What are you proving? I was the first one who commended the Bucks for saying they're not going to play. But then for y'all to go back and play 2 days later, what accomplished? Like, what was accomplished? What changed? What did this do?
Yeah. Yep.
You don't have anybody with the money. Like, when I say the money, I mean the people who pay you. They're not even stepping out and saying how this is incorrect and how this is wrong. Nothing. Like, nobody, no owner, nobody. It didn't change anything. It didn't shift nothing. You just literally just pushed everything back 2 days. That's it. Meanwhile, the WNBA, who gets paid significantly less than you do, has always stepped out and stood for these injustices. Y'all just not getting around to it, though. Like, every time we hear LeBron and see LeBron, and we see all these people who want to have these things to say, and like, I commend them because they are using their platform to do it. However, I'm not going to add in like as if you're doing something outside of the scope that you could do. So, I mean, instead of keep going back and forth about this, man, I'm gonna ask y'all that then. LeBron and Obama, they're coming up with a decision for the NBA players to go back. What are your thoughts there?
I got a different I got a different perspective now, because I always saw Obama and the things that he did was not for one particular person. Overall his body of work was for people of diversity. And having that in my mind, like knowing what the cause was, for you to tell them go ahead and finish the playoffs. I don't know how I feel about that now.
It's on brand. It's on brand.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not with that response.
Barry loves being safe when it's convenient for him.
There you go. That was it.
Let's just call it like it is. We've seen this card being played thousands of times over and over again for 8 years. It is what it is. I don't think we should be running to. And I have a problem with people running to. And don't get me wrong, if you got a mentor you want to run something by, great. I don't really think you want to run to President Obama. Me personally.
But here's the thing, Mike. I'm not going to tell you who to run to. Now, what I do have discomfort with is if you lean on one person and you show that you leaned on one person. Like, you can shout out to whoever you want, get everybody's perspective, make your own synopsis of what you got from talking to these different people. But why do we have to know where it came from and why? And we know the source, so I don't. That's another thing. Like, if you have a conversation with him, why is it important for us to know? How did that come out?
Hey, look, man. Nas said it in King's Disease. Jordan give back just as much as LeBron do. He just don't put it on display.
And I got problems with that, man. I feel like if you are going to give back, why does it have to be broadcast? Why does it have to be presented? Why does it have to be displayed? If you're solely giving from your heart, and I've said this before, if you're solely giving from your heart, why do you need a receipt?
Because Bruce just said it earlier. It's on brand.
It is on brand. I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
They use that to discredit us against each other.
Right.
We've been like the LeBron fan has been discrediting Michael Jordan. Well, he didn't give back like LeBron. What you know that man do? You in his pockets? You work as an accountant? Like you an accountant for him?
Right.
So I mean, look, man, I get all credit where it's due. Major credit to all them fellas who are out there doing that, and those women who are out there doing that, because they doing it. Like I said earlier, they getting paid pennies on the dollar compared to y'all, and they do it all the time. They stand up all the time, and for y'all to do this walk off, this appeared stage now at this point.
Yeah.
Walk off. We want change. What can we do to change? What did you accomplish? If you would have shut down the season, might have accomplished something, because you would have had them owners saying, "Hey, look, there's something we got to do. If we want to get paid, even if we don't agree with them, we got to do something else, because that's our money right there." But I mean, what I know, I don't know shit. I'm just out here, a dude on the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast, having some whiskey, talking with my friends. So I just know if I had they be using the equating the go to talk to Obama stuff. Like, man, what did Obama make this grand leap and change for Black America that I missed?
Yeah, we all missed it.
I guess we all missed that one because we still waiting.
Yeah, we missed it. We missed it. Oh, and you know
But
what?
I ain't mean to cut you out, bro. Go ahead. 'Cause you was trying to get to a point earlier.
No, I was going to honestly. All I was going to say was while we talking about MJ, we also got to give MJ a lot of credit, because if it wasn't for him having a conversation with Russ and CP, the owners would have never came to the table to have that conversation with those players. So we got to give Jordan a little bit of credit here, because he was the bridging of the gap to have this conversation for those players to get what they thought was right. Whether we believe it's right or not, that's neither here nor there. But they got what they thought was right. They got the initiatives they thought was important to them to keep playing, and the owners met their demand. So, kudos to MJ for being that gap between the Players Association and the owners.
You know how that happens? When you got a seat at the table.
That's the only way that's happening.
Facts.
Or else, like we just said,
That's
it
a
ain't gonna
fact.
matter.
Yep. Does Obama have a seat at the table? I don't. Okay. I'm gonna leave that there. Let's keep on going. Let's go.
No,
These are woken.
They just build podcasts. That's all.
Oh my gosh. Moving right along.
Buddy.
Moving right along. I just wanted to ask y'all something, man, because and this is going another direction, but I had an experience that I'll speak very, very briefly on. Within my line of work, I had a conversation with management, based out of emotion. And I knew I was going to have this conversation based out of emotion because the things that I let build up over time. And I knew it wasn't appropriate to have this conversation based out of emotion because emotion has no place for business. However, I still decided to have this conversation, to see what it would do, because I was internalizing a lot of emotion based upon the demands of my line of work. And so my question is for you two is, how do you deal with your emotions in your workplace, and to control them, or to get them out in the air to where you're not affected by them when making business decisions?
You can't. You have to understand that it's not personal. It's just business. And I know that's kind of hard to say. I know it's kind of cliche to say, but that's really the crux of it, and not allowing your emotions to get the best of you, because what happens is people can use those emotions and use that against you when promotions arise, when it's time to make a decision between who stays and who goes. So it's always good to keep those emotions at an even level, because you never want to see you never want to you never want to allow your coworkers to see you outside of your comfort zone, because when they see you outside that comfort zone, they know exactly how to get you there. They know exactly how to get you off your mark. And when they know that, they know exactly how to manipulate that to use it against you when it matters. So, those things you got to kind of channel and harbor and have different outlets outside of work. You know what I mean? That's, it's always good to have a good friend or two that you can relay that information to and have those conversations with. It's always good to have uh, a spouse or a significant other that you can have that conversation with and kind of get that stuff off your chest. Because when you internalize it at work, that's when it's a whole different story.
Yeah, I echo that. You gotta have those outlets outside of those walls. You know what I mean? That you can release that energy off to. Because honestly, you gotta let that motion out, but you gotta do it in a professional way. So like you gotta let those people who can make those changes to things know, but you gotta make sure that it's not communicated in a personal way. So that way you don't look crazy and you also just don't let the status quo go. You know what I mean? Like because those people are in those roles to make those changes for a reason, and they got to do their job. If they're not doing their job, they've been that company has then employed the wrong person to be doing that. But you don't also want to ruin your stock, not just at that company, but going forward anywhere else. It all depends on what you want to do next. Obviously, I mean, we all have conversations about future goals and things like that, and we won't talk about that on these podcasts. But you gotta it's a role that everybody plays, and you gotta understand. Like Mike said, it's not personal, it's business. So if you can't deal with it, tolerate it anymore, bounce, get another job. Because I mean, you can get a job a dozen, dime a dozen for a job. So there's no sense of being unhappy anywhere, bro. Because life is short.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. That is a fact. As you know, as we have seen time and time again, life is very short. So now is not a better time to do something that makes you happy. I've come to terms with this situation. Me and management have gone down another path. So things are healthy, but I still wanted to kind of get your guys' input to see if it was in line, with the way that I kind of dealt with things, which it seems to be. But it's always good. That's why we're here. That's why I love this platform so much because I can bounce things off of you guys and not get a biased answer, but get what the best answer is for the situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Yeah,
before you go on,
yeah,
Bruce said something that was very important, and I think that helps when you move on to different positions. Don't take that past with you, because every situation is completely different. Now, you might have some of the same characters, but when you get to that new environment, you know how to deal with those characters,
Hmm.
because that
hmm
environment sometimes can foster those bad apples in that bunch. And what happens is, if the environment is stale, some of that fruit's going to be stale too.
Yep.
So if you move to another environment where the environment might be a little more gracious to harvest this time, you might have a few apples that can actually rise from the bunch. But you're still gonna have those few bad apples that's gonna sit there because they're just stubborn as hell. They don't want to take the nutrients that's being given to them. So that's why it's important not to carry that to the next spot. And I've had to learn that, and that's why I wanted to come back to that, because I've had to learn that a lot. And every situation is different. And if I hadn't figured that out, sometimes you can kind of be on your ass and looking for something else, and you can kind of be a cancer, and that because when you have to rely on somebody else to get a recommendation for
Ooh,
another
that's
job,
nasty. I know
it's a little
exactly where you're
different.
going. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Have
little
to crawl
different.
back, get a recommendation. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta butter up
yeah.
and suck up, and it's like, and then and even so, it's always good to have at least one or two people that you managers that is, or even supervisors that can kind of go back and say, you know what, Mike and I might not have always seen the eye to eye in a lot of different things, but I can always take his work ethic, his integrity, and the way he came in and his professionalism every day. When he brought himself to work every day.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that can take aside their differences and still give you the recommendation because it's a truth, not because they owe you anything, or not because they want to see you in a position where they think you might not make it, so you can come crawling back. That's when you have to rest on your laurels and rest on your work ethic to get to that next step.
Yep. Corporate America is it's an up and down game, boy. You're gonna see somebody on the way up on the escalator, and you're gonna see them on the way down. So
Facts.
make sure you take care of people right when you're there. That's why I said you gotta give them that opportunity to correct it. If they don't take it personal. Just keep it moving.
Yeah, I think the most important piece I just heard, if I could echo and repeat it, is to not burn bridges.
Facts.
Understand where the bridge can get you to, and understand uh, that it is not always going to be in your favor. But I think the bigger picture here is to understand the end goal. All right. So are you trying to stay with this company, or are you making an exit strategy? Are you, getting ready to walk into an interview room for a next position? Like, understand where it is or that you're trying to go and the bridges that you need to get there. Because if you cut one bridge, that might be the one that your manager or potential future manager is going to reach back and go to that same bridge that you may be neglected or walked out on or closed before you should have. So just maintain healthy relationships if it's in line with what your goals are, I'd say. But moving on, man, there's a marriage that is coming to an end in the podcast world.
Mm.
Uh, speaking of,
It's a hell of a way to put it.
God damn. I mean, it is. It's a marriage coming to an end with Joe Budden Podcast and the Spotify situation. That marriage is coming to an end soon. How we feel about that?
I'm I'm always going to be on the side of anybody that wants to take the control of their destiny in their own hands. I never want anybody to feel like they have to succumb to a corporate structure because it's necessary. And Joe Budden is one of the last people that needs that. And as he said on his own podcast, I did this for information. And there were times where I might not have agreed with the move that he made because I was like, he's rolling by himself. But sometimes it's not about playing checkers; it's about playing chess when it comes to business. And you have to make the moves necessary to be able to move around the chessboard how you see fit, because the end result is to divide and conquer. And he's doing just that, making the moves that he's making. And that's Spotify's loss. And quite frankly, that's just corporate America in general. Very rarely do they ever see the true value in their employees, the people that they hire in certain positions, and just the business model in general. Why companies go under every day. They fail to adapt. They think they know more because they built themselves up, but they don't realize you can fall just like the next company, because the society dictates how you live. You don't dictate society.
Mhm.
In this case, the creators dictate how the podcast landscape is going to be. And when the number one person in that podcast landscape decides to make this move, it's going to be earth shattering. I don't care about Joe Rogan. He's not in the demographic that people really truly care about, per se. I don't care about Bill Simmons as much. He's in a niche demographic. The main person that is pop culture, that is of the culture, a culture that everybody wants to partake in, a culture that, quite frankly, runs the world, Yeah. When he says I'm going on my own, we should listen. And I applaud him for the move that he made.
Hey, yo, I gotta let one off for my man. Shout out Joe Budden, bro.
Facts.
Hey, man. Look, Joe Budden, he's out here. He fighting that fight, talking that talk. He understood that you got to sacrifice them pawns sometimes to make that actual checkmate at the end, and he's doing the right thing, man. A lot of y'all got in his mentions and told him how he needed what he needed to do. It's funny that a lot of y'all who be doing that be the ones who's not even in the field. So, like, how you gonna give somebody instructions on how to maneuver in a field and you not even in that field, or you are one of those other people who are in a bad predicament themselves, but you just don't know how to voice it. So funny that how that works, man. So I mean, but at the end of the day, man, shout out to Joe Budden and the team, because it's not just Joe on that pod. Shout out to Roy, shout out to Park, shout out everybody, Maul, shout out all of them, the JBP boys. There's no secret. We look up and not idolize, but we look up to that podcast because they somebody who's really doing it and they doing it their way. And honestly, bro, like Spotify gonna learn when that app get deleted by a lot of people they was touching that y'all didn't give credit. He said a lot in that podcast. I'm not gonna say everything. I'm not gonna say anything that he said in that podcast because he either caught them gems and you put them in them pockets, or you let them gems fall and somebody behind you picked them up.
Facts.
So, it is what it is, man. Like the man said, he went over there to market research. You got to do your own market research, man. Can't just take everybody's words.
But see, I applaud that though, man, because a lot of people just want to get to the finish line, but they don't want to understand the inner workings of what gets people to finish lines. Like you want to be the dude on TV, but the dude on TV ain't really bringing in no dollars for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he bringing in money, but not like the company that supports the platform that he uses for his content. So I applaud Joe Budden, for understanding that early on and having a game plan. Like this the way he made it sound and the things that he said, he could already kind of see this coming, but he had a plan, to fight against whatever the negative may be. And now, he's in a position to be able to not miss a beat while he takes his content to whatever house he wants to. And that's kind of what it's all about. Own the content that you or have some type of ownership or understanding of what ownership means behind whatever content that you service.
And look, I'm gonna bring up something else to this too, because it was one of these podcasts you were talking about that ownership stuff, right? And you said, "Yo, everybody should be own something," and I said, "Everybody's not meant to be an owner." It's because of this. The people that you got going on right now, telling Joe, man, he need to do this, he need to do that, he need to get a lawyer, he need to do that. They not even talking the same lingo that man talking about.
Facts.
That's why I said everybody not
Facts.
meant to be an owner, because they thinking about the short term. They thinking about Joe Rogan made 100 million or whatever million, and I don't care. He made this amount of money, Joe trying to make this money, and that's what that's immediately what they caught. Not understanding the big thing that he's trying to figure out. Bro, everybody not meant to be an owner, because none of y'all, a lot of y'all, I'm not going to say none of y'all, a lot of y'all are not ready to do what it takes to be a successful owner. You can be an owner for a short time. Anybody can own anything. But if you got to pay it back, you didn't really own it. You rented it.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's what I meant by that. And shout out, like, again, man, I'm not going to shout him out no more, man. Fuck Joe Budden. I'm just playing.
I understand that.
But, yo, the man is doing what he felt needed to be done for his team. He sacrificed them pawns, and we're going to see in a couple of weeks the next thing that's coming up for him. So,
And that's the
shout
key
out to him.
word. That's the key word that you mentioned, sacrifice. I think it's very selfless of him to fall, to be the one to fall on the sword, to be the one the first doing this out the gate. It's always hard to be the first in doing something because there's going to be things that you miss along the way, but you also leave an opportunity for people to come back behind you and do it better, which is kind of what you want in so many words.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's going around doing the same thing, then there can't be any progress.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing I hate is when somebody that has an apartment and doesn't own anything tries to tell somebody who owns a house how to conduct business in their own house.
Hey, hold on, I got you.
Say that louder,
For the
people in the back,
please. I don't think they heard you, brother.
I don't like when small-minded people who own apartments or who don't own any, they don't have any assets. You guys ride a bike to work. You take the bus. Don't tell me who owns a house, who anybody who owns a home. Don't tell me how to conduct business in my house. I don't need peasants talking to a king any kind of way. What's wrong with you guys?
Woof. Woof.
Especially y'all podcasts out here talking about y'all got selling something. I ain't gonna say what dollar amount they said. They selling $1 amount of game. Bro, you
fugazi out here in these streets. What the hell's wrong with y'all?
Oh man.
Y'all giving away gems for free.
Watering down the block.
And y'all
watering down the block.
For sure. And making it hard for the people that's trying to do things with a level of authenticity and a level of real care and real message and importance. It's making it hard for people like us, for example, to get recognized. But you know what? It comes with time because the hard work is going to pay off.
Facts.
Yes, and when it does, I don't want to see, no, y'all didn't. I'm going to call y'all. No, you didn't. You didn't. You didn't. And quite frankly, Joe should be that same way.
Yep.
And I'm going to call the people. If everybody heard it, Charlamagne, Envy, Angela Yee, y'all are trash. Y'all are trash for being the first ones to go on radio and say, oh, what was Joe thinking? You ain't thinking on the same level as him because you guys don't own shit. Envy, you own cars.
Meanwhile,
what
do you do? Dame told you that.
Meanwhile, y'all on the radio. Meanwhile, what do they start doing? Podcasting.
Because your niche and your market is dying.
Mm-hmm. They didn't start podcasting until after who?
Joe Budden. And matter of fact, I take it a step further. iHeart had to come save y'all. Because if they didn't, y'all would be out of a fucking job. Quite frankly, I'm still surprised y'all motherfuckers even still standing down. Y'all got the same trash-ass rhetoric every fucking week. Nobody cares. Y'all get outshined by your own guests. What kind of fucking podcast y'all got?
Wait till Apple put them radios in the car.
Shit, they ain't a lot of them already.
Oh, they super late. Because XM just brought SoundCloud. Everybody in the world got a SoundCloud account.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till they start. Wait till some of these big names like Joe K, people who create playlists, start going on SoundCloud and putting stuff out there. They don't need y'all. Y'all play the same damn 25 records every 2 or 3 hours. Might want to hear that shit every day.
You could damn near timestamp it too while you at it. You can damn still timestamp. If you listen to the radio at the same time every day, same shit. Same shit.
Hey, Mike, don't give them no more gems, bro.
My bad.
You dropping too many, bro.
My bad. I apologize.
No, it's all love. Nah. We get some, but we ain't giving them all. We ain't at Budden status yet.
Yeah. Hold on.
I feel like the rawest thing about it though was the fact that Joe got to be on his podcast on their platform talking shit to them.
Now that's what I love. I was waiting for somebody to say that. That's what when I heard that, I'm like, whoa. Tell me on your 5 fingers, tell me how many people that look like me can do that right now.
Only time I see it is at Wendy's when somebody quitting.
Hey, yo.
Come on, man.
That's it.
Yowzers.
That's it. What was on Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle? And he said, we're going to burn this shit down. That's 3 times right there.
That's a
Oh
fact.
my God.
Hey, but you know what though, guys? You can do that when you own your shit.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never see Charlamagne talk about iHeartRadio because he don't own a fucking thing.
He ain't gonna be there the next day, that's for sure.
That's a damn fact.
Or he might not be
matter
there the whole segment. He might.
Matter of fact, you can always call the Hollywood Reporter. They can always use you to do them little fake pull-ups you was doing.
Ooh.
But I'm done, man. I'm finished. I'm good.
I know it hurt to see that for the CEO for Spotify to see that podcast get uploaded.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
He was trying to.
And he can't do nothing.
I bet he was trying to pull every string, and he couldn't find one that worked.
Damn shame you can't do shit on your own platform.
He punked you on your own shit.
Right.
Damn. And been doing it for weeks.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
He said, look, y'all can keep this. Look, y'all can get this little bit of change I'm making y'all now. I have no problem. But guess what? You gonna catch every little bit on the way out.
That's another thing I love, though. Because there's a way to tastefully get a little bit of what he was getting, a little bit of daggers out there, but still be kind of, professional, slick, smooth with it, as opposed to like kind of just jumping off, going crazy talk. And the professionalism behind what he was saying, I kind of applaud that too. Because there's one thing to tell the story and to badger or to down talk. It's 2 different lingos you can use. You know what I'm saying? And he chose to use one of the professional, sophisticated, lane that he's in, and I appreciate that.
Hey, the best form of professionalism is the truth. You can't refute that.
Not at all.
Can't refute it, baby.
That's a fact.
Not at all. So
let's get to it, Ty. You ready? I know you're ready.
Yeah. 2 podcasts ago, we was talking about somebody that we dearly miss. Somebody that we dearly looked up to. And I'm here for if there's any more features whenever you guys want to put them out there. Not to take the shine away from who I'm really talking about, but it did something to me, man, just to hear Nip on the new release track. The one that I'm talking about is Deep Reverence. It takes me about 20 minutes to get to work. I think I might have got 5 or 6 plays in before I got out of the car. And if I had another 5 minutes, I would have drove another 5 minutes. So I don't know, man. I just appreciate his voice. I appreciate his message, and I also appreciate Sean for choosing, that song to release. And now my expectations for Detroit 2 is way up there. I feel like if he leading with something like that, woof.
If we was licensed to play this song, boy, I would have had it going this whole time.
So I'm gonna throw it out there, man. After listening to the song, after seeing the little plays he's been making, what are we expecting for Detroit 2?
Classic. I think this the year we're gonna have a bunch of classic albums, and I think we got another one on the horizon, man. He took his time. He cooked the pot slow. Remember when Jadakiss had started off not Kiss the Game, I'm sorry. Long Kiss Goodbye? And he was like, I had to cook it up slow.
Yeah.
This is Big Sean version of Cook It Up Slow for y'all. Detroit 2, about to be the classic that Detroit was, that everybody in the world knows except for Mike.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, man.
I knew that was coming. No, I agree. I think this will be Sean's best project. I think this will be the best project that he's had in his career, and I think it'll be rightfully deserved. like Bruce said.
I'm
Ty,
excited.
come on. I
man.
know you about to break it down, Ty. So go ahead and give us the breakdown because this is your guy. This is your twin.
Hey, listen, man. Sean got me reading books. Sean got me meditating. Sean got me doing all kind of stuff, bro. It's like before the pull up, Sean didn't really. He would like say subliminal stuff, but not like now. Like now we getting the somewhat of the afterlife of the younger Sean. You know, some of the things that he was dealing with and why we saw certain things. You know, why is he reading certain books and his recommendations. I'm like, okay, what kind of stuff are you on? And he's a real inspirational guy. A lot of his things that he's been through. I ain't trying to sound like I'm his twin or nothing like that, but I'm just saying
You are.
there's some
You is.
similarities. There's some similarities. I ain't trying to be a fanatic fan or nothing like that, but I am. But I just understand him. I kind of understand his journey, and I've been waiting for this one for so long. And he's just when an artist can keep you engaged without releasing projects. Has this been what 5? What? How many years has this been?
Nah, it ain't been 5.
Nah, tell me how many years? 2, 3?
What? No, because
I think I Decided came out in 2016, so it's been close to about 4 years.
4.
Yeah, 4.
4.
3 or 4.
3 or 4. So to keep your audience engaged for 3 to 4 years, I think says a lot. And I'm waiting for September the 4th, man.
So I gotta ask, did you buy the hoodie or a shirt?
I made a couple of purchases. I'm gonna say that. I made a couple of purchases, and I ain't gonna make no more because every time I go on that site, I like.
Did you get the cream hoodie or the black one?
So stop talking about hoodies, man. Stop talking about it.
Also, the last joint came out 2017, so 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a long time to keep people engaged. You do a little couple features here and there, but the way that he was keeping people engaged was just kind of like, well, I say the last year. I wouldn't say the whole 3 years. I say the last year is when he was kind of giving us a little bit more behind the scenes of his life and things that he's dealt with. So I'm waiting for September 4th, man. Waiting for September the 4th.
You ain't got long, brother.
I don't. I got
right
the countdown on my phone.
Oh my God. He got the countdown on his phone. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Nah, I think Sean is gonna kick off the fourth quarter of this wild and crazy and just unpredictable year that we've having right now. And I think he's gonna kick off this fourth quarter with a great album to take us into the end of the year for the rest of the music scene, because I do think there are a lot of other albums that are coming. So we'll definitely have to brace ourselves for a pretty wild and abundant fourth quarter, and hopefully the world won't be ending at that point. We'll be able to at least enjoy the music as best we can.
Yeah, man. I don't really know how to go here. I'm gonna just say Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, Black Panther. Just a couple of projects to name of Chadwick Boseman. Got the horrific news August the 28th that he has passed away. We also, not to breeze by, but we also lost Cliff Robinson. I know these guys had a lot that they left with us, a lot of legacies left, a lot of challenges, a lot of things that they have accomplished. And kind of want to know, man, like, how did you guys feel, or what were some things that kind of ran through your mind um, after hearing that we lost these two brothers?
Oh, it's kind of hard to put into words, honestly. I was kind of shocked. Um,
Yeah,
just at the time we heard the news, and just in the manner that we heard the news, and just it kind of took me to another place. Um, because I lost my grandfather to colorectal cancer, and it's one of those things, man, where it's now it's starting to affect more black men under the age of 50. And I think that we really truly have to take the time to go see your primary care provider. If you don't have one, now is the time to get one. Don't hold it off. Don't put it off anymore. Do it. We have a very bad stigma in the black community, especially for black men, that we don't want to go to the doctor. And a lot of that is valid. A lot of that is embedded in our DNA. A lot of that is embedded culturally. But we have to kind of break those cycles. We can't be feared into going to see a doctor or a nutritionist or um, epidemiologist. We have to go see any doctor that we need to make sure we take care of our bodies, because our health is our wealth. And if we don't have that, you're not going to be around much longer. So um, I just want to give love and light to Chadwick Boseman and his family, his friends, his loved ones, everybody that he touched on his journey in life, and just you know everybody that he touched just with his roles in his movies. And for somebody to have the wherewithal and the gall to select the roles that he did, and the ones that people were afraid to touch for years, did them with such integrity and class and reverence that it's just it's hard to match, honestly. And he will be missed. And he is the for some he's and really a good majority of us, he's the first black hero we ever got to see on the screen. So he'll forever be remembered for that.
I think gone too soon, man. Gone too soon. Taken away from us too soon. Somebody who was literally coming into their not I won't say coming into their own, but he was in another level. And like Mike said, man, somebody who took the roles that he took on. He worked like he had the work of Samuel L. Jackson, where I mean, like he took on a lot of roles. But he took on very great roles as well. Somebody who literally played James Brown, Jackie Robinson, Black Panther. Like, bro, that's within 4 years.
That's a hell of a resume. A lot of people ain't got
yeah,
that on their resume, and he had it on his, and did it to the upteenth, the utmost power and grace. So it's a tough one, man. It's gonna be a tough one for Hollywood, especially for Black Hollywood.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just knowing that he was kind of dealing with this for the past 4 years, um, says a lot about his character and says a lot about who he is. You know, a lot of us complain about our current conditions, and we come to these conclusions about things that we can and cannot do based upon those conditions. But yeah, we have a real life example of challenges that I would say are very extreme. Um, and he found a way to strive through those challenges. And that's kind of the thing that I pull out of of losing him. Like, assess what it is that you're trying to do, or whatever objective or obstacle is in front of you. Like, can you really find a way around this? Can you put a plan together to jump over this hurdle? You know, what do you have in you to combat against whatever you're dealing with every day? And that just speaks volumes to me once I heard about that piece of information. Um, Ultimately, after hearing that he's passed away, and prayers up to his family and everybody that he's left behind. I really couldn't imagine what you guys feel like right now.
I also want to add something too, man. Um, this is another example of we got to stop tearing people down or like talking about people in the physical. You know what I mean? Like in a physical form.
Yeah, yeah.
He was subject to a lot of critiques about his weight, about his emotions. That when Black Panther was out, when everybody kept wanting to do Wakanda, and they was like talking about how he was like tired of it or whatnot.
Mhm.
Little did we know he was going through that in the back.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like in the back of his head. And it kind of opened my eyes. Not kind of, it opens my eyes to a lot of things that he like was going through and doing and why it was possibly why it was happening. I'm not going to say why because I don't have that factual information, but it could be the part of the reason why he was responding the way he was. You know, when he broke down in tears about the kids who had cancer that never got to see Black Panther. That was what they were excited for. Like now it's eye opening. Like yo, he busts into tears because he's also going through that same fight. Let
Mhm.
alone just having to deal with like a child losing a life to cancer. But that's something that he's dealing with internally as well because he's also one of those people having that issue. You know, with cancer or that bout with cancer. So I mean, it's bro. Like I mean, somebody who's like who really did a lot. He really did a lot. He really enjoyed his life. He really worked his ass off, not just for himself or his family, but for us. So live every day, live every 24 hours. Enjoy as much as you can every 24 hours. Don't fall into the love, the fake love or the fake hate. You know what I mean? Because what I'm seeing right now is a lot of people saying like, you know, I'm gonna miss and didn't even understand what he stood for. But he also see a lot of people he did touch really saying like how he touched them. So and expressing that and letting it known with the videos that they have personally with him. So RIP to him. RIP to Chadwick Boseman. RIP to Cliff Robinson as well. Can't forget about him.
Absolutely.
It's bro, this has been a tough week, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
How y'all well, I don't wanna and I think we probably gonna close out after this, but how do y'all feel about the sentiment that's going around where they're saying well people are asking Marvel not to recast Black Panther? Do y'all have any thoughts on that at all?
I mean, I would hope that they wouldn't, but I you know, they're gonna do what's best for them, and they probably will recast it, and it's. I just hope whoever they chose will uphold that role within the same class and integrity that Chadwick did. So, but I we'll know if Marvel listens or not. But they also got billions of dollars tied into that plan and that franchise. So we'll see.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. If they do decide to um recast, it's make sure it's at the same level of execution. Because as you guys just heard, we had an actor that did phenomenal with the role under some strenuous conditions. So let's not get let's not let that legacy die in vain, I should say. If you're gonna do it, make sure that it's done at the same level, if not even better, to uplift him and what he started. So yeah.
Facts.
Thanks. R.I.P. Chad, man. Chadwick.
Hey man, you brothers got any last words before we get out of here tonight?
Well, you know what I'm about to say, Tyrone.
I'm about to say, let him get that out after me. No, man, just kind of piggybacking off of Chadwick, man. Just stop trying to judge the book by its cover. Stop trying to judge the person without having a conversation with them. You know, if you don't know that person, what does it do for you to have an opinion and voice it? It's one thing to have an opinion, but why do you need to voice it? You know what I'm saying? It's easier, so much easier, less energy involved to be positive and spread positivity and love, man. And I think that's the practice that we should all continue to strive to get to. Spread love, man. Spread love and positivity.
What I'll say is don't internalize other people's thoughts of you. There's a reason they feel that way, and it might not have, 95% of the time ain't got nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
So live your life, man. You only get one. Fuck with who fuck with you. And wear your damn mask. We still in a pandemic, man. People still getting sick. You might not believe it, but be thoughtful to others and wear your damn mask.
Please, that's vital, and it's truly important because, like my brother said, people are still getting sick. People are dying from this disease. So thank y'all, man, for those words that y'all shared. Thank you guys for listening again to the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast, episode 36 in the books. Please keep the conversation going. Follow us on all of our social networks. Twitter at Whiskey and Wiz, WISD1. Also follow us on Instagram, Whiskey and Wisdom Pod. Make sure you check out and subscribe to all the streaming platforms we're on. Apple Podcasts at Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. SoundCloud, same name, Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. And also Spotify, Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. Check us out on YouTube as well, Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. All of our clips, episodes, if you guys want to check us out there as well. And always remember, guys, a closed ear can't understand wisdom because listening is learning. For the good brothers, Bruce, Tyrone, myself, Mike, we're out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.